Hello, my good friends. Derek Deschamps here for Internetworking Influencers, your source for free Cisco certification training for network engineers. Welcome to day 1 of our free CCNA 200-301 training course. Internetworking Influencers CCNA 200-301 training course is comprised of 18 videos, each focusing directly on a set of specific items on Cisco's official exam topic list. As a reminder, today's video has a set of free practice questions that are available on our website at internetworkinginfluencers.com that will help you brush up on the topics you learned today. The questions are a true representation of the types of questions you'll face on the actual exam, so be sure to check those out once we're done. Alright, so let's get to it. So as I mentioned earlier, each video in this course focuses directly on a set of specific items on Cisco's official exam topic list. This video is the exception to that rule. Today we're going to introduce you to the Cisco IOS command line to ensure you know your way around a Cisco device before proceeding with the rest of the course. Even though this material doesn't correspond directly to Cisco's official exam topic list, it is considered foundational and is tested on the exam. If you'd like to have a look at Cisco's official exam topic list, I've included a link to it in the video's description. There are 3 ways to access the command line interface of a Cisco device: by connecting a PC physically to the console port, or by connecting remotely using Telnet or SSH. Today we will access the command line interface using the console port. So as I mentioned, a console port is used to access the command line interface or CLI of a Cisco device. A console port can have an RJ45 or USB connector. To connect a PC to an RJ45 console port, a rollover cable is used. To connect a PC to a USB console port, a standard USB cable is used. Once your PC has been connected physically to the console port, a terminal emulator program, such as PuTTY or Secure CRT, is used with the following settings. Bits per second should be set to 9600. Data bits set to 8. Parity set to none. Stop bits set to 1. And flow control set to none. Once your terminal emulator has been configured correctly, hit enter, and you should see a command prompt similar to the one below. The first portion of the command prompt is the host name of the device, and the greater than symbol signifies that we are in user exec mode. User exec mode is the first level of access and has a very limited command set. In practice, I very rarely use this mode because it's so limited. In order to use the full set of commands, we must first go into privileged exec mode, or what is often referred to as enable mode in the field. To go into privileged exec mode, we enter the command enable. As you can see, the command prompt has changed to a hash symbol. This indicates that we are now in privileged exec mode. This also means we now have access to the full set of commands. So let's take a look at the device's running configuration. The running configuration is the active configuration that the device is currently using. The running configuration is stored in the device's working memory or RAM. To display the running configuration, we enter the command show running config. So here we can see the running configuration of the device. in this case, a router. We can also see that its interfaces are configured with just the default configuration. If we wanted to change this configuration, we would first need to go into Global Configuration mode. To do this, we enter the command configure terminal. As you can see, the command prompt has changed to config in parentheses. This indicates that we are now in Global Configuration mode. So from this mode, we can make changes that will apply to the system as a whole. For example, if we wanted to change the hostname of the router to border-router-1, we could do that here by entering the command hostname border-router-1. Now, if we wanted to configure a specific interface, we would first need to go into Interface Configuration mode. To do this, we enter the command interface followed by the interface ID of the interface we want to configure. In this case, let's configure Fast Ethernet 0/0. You will notice the command prompt has changed to config-if in parentheses. This indicates we are now in interface configuration mode. So now let's give this interface an IP address. To do this, we enter the command IP address followed by the IP address. In this case, let's use an IP address of 10.1.1.1, followed by the subnet mask. In this case, let's use a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. Now let's enable this interface by entering the command no shutdown. We can now exit out of interface configuration mode by typing exit. And exit out of global configuration mode by typing exit again. We are now back to privileged exec mode. So now let's verify the changes to the running configuration. To do this, we enter the command show running config. Here we can see that the hostname has been changed to border-router-1. We can also see that Fast Ethernet 0/0 now has an IP address and is no longer shut down. Now, any changes that are made to the running configuration are not saved automatically. In order to save our changes, we need to copy them to the startup configuration. The startup configuration is the saved configuration that is stored in the NVRAM. The startup configuration is loaded when the device is powered on or rebooted. To save our changes to the startup configuration, we enter the command copy running config startup config. Now, if we enter the command show startup config, we can see the changes we made to the host name and Fast Ethernet 0/0 have now been saved to the startup configuration. So to recap, user exec mode is the first level of access. User exec mode provides access to a very limited command set. The command prompt for user exec mode is the host name followed by the greater than symbol. Privileged exec mode provides access to the full set of commands. Privileged exec mode can be accessed using the enable command from user exec mode. The command prompt for privileged exec mode is the host name followed by the hash symbol. Global configuration mode is used to configure features that affect the entire system. Global configuration mode can be accessed using the configure terminal command from privileged exec mode. The command prompt for global configuration mode is the host name followed by config in parentheses followed by the hash symbol. Interface configuration mode is used to configure features that affect a specific interface. Interface configuration mode can be accessed using the interface command from global configuration mode. The command prompt for interface configuration mode is the host name followed by config-if in parentheses followed by the hash symbol. The running configuration is the active configuration loaded in the device's working memory or RAM. The running configuration can be displayed using the show running config command from privileged exec mode. The running configuration can be saved using the copy running config startup config command from privileged exec mode. The startup configuration is the saved configuration which is stored in the NVRAM. The startup configuration is loaded when the device is powered on or rebooted. The startup configuration can be displayed using the show startup config command from privileged exec mode. And that brings us to the end of day 1 of Internetworking Influencers CCNA 200-301 training course. Don't forget to complete the free practice questions for today's material, which can be found on our website at internetworkinginfluencers.com. The free questions will help highlight the key points that Cisco will expect you to know for the exam. Also, if you enjoy our free training and would like to show your support, please check out our Patreon page. We offer numerous perks to our supporters, ranging from additional practice questions and detailed study notes for each video, to direct access to our instructors to answer any questions you might have. I'll be back next time for day 2, where I'll cover network components, architectures, and cabling. I'm Derek Deschamps for Internetworking Influencers. Thanks for watching.